pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a motion to appoint Brad Weaver as acting president for the meeting this evening? Support? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The gavel is yours.
Thank you. I will ask Mr. Stoddard to call the roll.
Jim Barnes, Dwight Hansway. Here. Hansway, no. Brad Stoddard here. Josh Alcantara, no. Lisa Truscott.
Here.
Brad Weaver.
Here.
And Louise. Here.
And then I would like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda. I'm sorry, thank you. I'd like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda to include the DeWitt High School Detroit, the DHS DeWitt Gives Back presentation before the student representative report. So moved.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the agenda is amended. Now do we need to make a motion to adopt the amended agenda? Or are we good?
We can make a motion to adopt it.
Let's make a motion.
So moved.
Support. All right, now we have an agenda. So since we've added that in, we're going to go to the presentation.
Hi everybody, my name is Zach Davis. I'm a senior at DeWitt High School, and I'm one of the student advisors for our club, DeWitt Gives Back.
I'm Cooper Cisco. I'm a junior at DeWitt High School, and this is my first year with DeWitt Gives Back.
Okay, for you.
Mr. Dotson has agreed to be your clicker.
All right, so just a little bit about who we are. We're a pretty big club at the school. We have 80 plus students. We meet about every other week, and pretty much what our goal is we do a lot of volunteer work and look for to better the community, and we do that by collecting goods and donating to people in need. And our advisor is Ms. Grossi over here.
So what do we do? Recently, we have been collecting our holiday bags for our kindergartners and first graders in Lansing by giving them like toothbrushes, toothpaste, dental stuff, and like coloring books, candy, all types of good stuff.
One of the first things we do, we did this last year and we're running it back this year, is we have our thing called Socktober, which is where we collect socks for people in need, because it's one thing that many people that are less fortunate don't have access to, and it's very overlooked. So we look to collect socks, and we collected 700 pairs of socks last year, and we hope to up that this year.
We've also collected Valentine's Day cards. We've also done food drives in the past, and a new thing that we are doing is going to temporary homes and teaming up with the Women's Leadership Club and collecting goods for the Women's Center in East Lansing. We also have bins around the town at Family Tree. I think we're looking at Duncan to see if people want to help out.
The new thing we're excited about this year is we're partnering with Chosen Vision and DeWitt, and we are going to have students visiting every Monday with developmentally disabled young adults and adults. Pretty much what we're going to do is we're just going to send volunteers that just want to go and spend time with these kids that and young adults that just to spend time with, have a friend, and just overall try to better these kids' lives in any way we can.
Also, a new thing that we're doing is we got access to the community closet, and we've been requesting homecoming and prom dresses, and we want to be able to make the community closet more accessible to all students to help donate clothes to the community.
Just some final goals for the year is obviously just more community interaction is an amazing thing. More opportunities for giving just in any way is goods or just volunteering to help people out or just spending time with somebody that may need it. And going along with that, just spreading kindness is just number one most important thing. And some of these things over here, just any things we're always looking for that can just help improve somebody's life. And that'll be it.
Any questions
appreciate everything that you're doing for the community.
Of course.
I also want to say thank you, and the acts of service are one of the best things that you can do, and I really appreciate to see youth partaking in that. Thank you.
Just one quick question. How much would you say that DeWitt gives back is giving back in DeWitt versus outside of our community?
Well, recently we collected toothbrushes and stuff. I just finished all my calls with dental associations in the area, and we are gonna help give those to kids in East Lansing and their kindergartners and first graders.
Okay.
We also look to we also expand beyond DeWitt because there's a lot more underprivileged communities outside of DeWitt, and we think a lot of people in DeWitt would be more willing to help those underprivileged communities. That's the reason we expand out more.
That's great.
And I think in-house with the community closet, making it more available is going to be the really big one within our building itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that. Nice job, guys.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Appreciate it. We will move on to our student representative report. Lucas.
Hello. We'll start off by talking about homecoming a little bit. We had a really good attendance at homecoming. We sold over 700 tickets. That was really exciting. Overall reactions to homecoming as well were very good. People seemed to really enjoy themselves, and that was very good to hear that kind of feedback as well from students saying they had a great time. I also wanted to give a quick mention to our marching band. They recently competed in their first competition and took first place with their show Ruler of Our Dreams. Seniors were recently given a presentation from Jostens about ordering their caps and gowns and other accessories to go with their senior year. Jostens wants to get that done early, so it's cheaper for us and easier for them to give us that stuff. There will also be a blood drive on October 13th for anyone in the community to participate in. It is being sponsored by Varsity Blood Center, and the midterms will be administered to students on October 26th and October 27th, bringing them to 9 weeks 1 and 9 weeks 2. We'll begin on October 30th. Also on October 30th, DeWitt's High School's Wellness Day will happen, where students will be engaging in activities that they chose themselves. And then wrapping this section up, tickets are on sale for DeWitt High School's musical Oklahoma. There will be 4 shows from November 2nd to November 5th. The athletics, the varsity football team on September 29th played Grand Ledge High School at home for our homecoming football game, and the Panthers won with a score of 41-38. On October 6th, the varsity football team played Okemos High School away and won with a score of 60-0. Their next game is on October 13th, away at Lansing Everett High School. The boys varsity soccer team on October 17th will be playing in the MHSAA District Championship at Hazlet High School. And on October 5th, the girls varsity volleyball team played East Lansing High School away and won 3-0. On October 7th, the girls varsity volleyball team played at a tournament where they won 3 matches, lost 2, and tied 1. Their next match is on October 10th, away at Everett High School. With clubs and extracurriculars, the Student Government E-Board, as well as its new members, will be attending a Leadership Training Institute with other schools across the state on November 2nd. Here, students will hear presentations from students in other schools, as well as learning leadership skills that will help them become better leaders here at DeWitt. DeWitt Sustainability is planning a project to bring composting to DeWitt High School. They are researching different composting methods to see which one would work best here at the high school. They're also planning fundraisers like hand drives to raise money for these projects they're doing in the future. Model UN will be holding their leadership elections on October 13th in Seminar. They will also be attending an event on October 28th at East Lansing High School. And Students Against Destructive Decisions, or SAD, in their effort to try to help students in the risk of pressure they receive in their lives, SAD is doing monthly activities to engage students at DHS. They're also reaching out to the middle school to better prepare students for the experiences they may have going into high school. So, that's my
Thank you. Any questions for Lucas? Seeing none? Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll move on to public comment. It is the practice of the Board of Education to permit persons in the audience to make statements concerning agenda items at this time. Please complete a public comment form and return it to the board desk if you wish to speak or prefer to express a written comment. Public comment shall be limited to 3 minutes. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic. Do you have anything, Mr. Stoddard?
Not under this section.
All right. Moving on to the consent agenda. Is the recommendation of Superintendent Shauna Spicker that the Board of Education approve the following items for immediate implementation and appropriate action as presented. Approval of minutes, as well as the treasurer report and bills for the month of September 2023. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So we move on to action items. First up is a Altria settlement resolution. It's a recommendation of Superintendent Shauna Spicker that the DeWitt Public Schools Board of Education approve the resolution to accept the proposed Altria Group settlement as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support. Any discussion?
So this one is in addition to the Jewel settlement, so this is another one. There were over 1,000 districts that they were being represented in this one. So our portion would be about $15,000 for that settlement.
All right, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, motion passes. Move on to the bond item. It's a recommendation of Superintendent Shauna Spicker that the Board of Education award for the 2021 building and site capital project to Clark Construction for guaranteed maximum pricing for bid package number 8, Amendment I, for DeWitt Middle School and Scott Elementary School equipment pre-purchase for mechanical and electrical equipment in the amount of $1.25 million as presented. Plant Moran, Real Point, and Clark Construction have provided recommendations for the board review. Do I have a motion? Support. There's a motion and support. Any discussion?
So we have a representative from Clark and Plant Moran Real Point here. If there are any questions?
Seeing no questions, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. We move on to the recommendation of Rob Spagnola, Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations, that the Board of Education approve the following vehicles for purchase. Chevrolet Traverse at a cost of $37,618. Chevrolet Express Cargo Van at a cost of $40,334. 2 Chevrolet 2500 HD trucks at a cost of $54,705 each, and a Chevrolet 3500 HD truck at a cost of $55,676. Total cost $243,038. Do I have a motion?
So,
Support.
Any discussion?
I have a question. As I read through the information on the Chevy Traverse, I guess I'm just curious why you can look at a van and
Rob's got
I
it.
can answer that. Unfortunately, so school law only allows you to purchase a van, transit vans that are 10 passenger or less. And unfortunately, the current van that we have, they don't make 7 or 10 passenger vans any longer. They only make 12 or 15 passenger vans. So we did some research, talked to some dealers, actually talked to some other school districts that had purchased and Traverses, as a matter of fact. And so that's why we decided to go with the Traverse versus holding out and waiting to see if they start making the 7 and 10 passenger vans in the future.
The problem is that we have both the golf team right now that is using the van, and then we also have a work program for our special ed students, and it's been really hard to do both, and needing a second vehicle to be able to do that.
that's all I was thinking, is the van gets packed
Yeah.
and a smaller vehicle.
So with the Traverse, we'll probably do a small trailer that equipment can go in for, so if golf decides to use it, then they would be able to store their equipment in the small trailer.
Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Move on to discussion of the Michigan Association of School Boards Conference delegate selection. So, Shauna, can you give us a quick kind of what we need to accomplish
Well,
here?
and Deb, did we get any information on if John is included, or we can do 2 extra, or?
So we get 3 total. John would be included.
Okay.
He's going to be attending through his MASB
So we have 2 others.
position. So we could do 2 other.
Is this for the whole conference, or is this just for the, like, delegate part? Or
The delegate
just the delegate part
convention.
But we do have funds.
to go to the conference?
Mhm.
Okay. I would go to take one of these spots. I'm home. Dwight? Brad?
It's in Lansing this year. That
Yeah.
helps.
It's, yeah,
I
it's
drove
close.
to Traverse City before. Do we need to fill all of them, or is it?
No.
We don't need to, and so
Okay.
what I'll do is after the meeting, I'll go into their website and input whoever says that they would be available.
And we can check
Sign it
with
up.
both Angelina and Jason as well to see if there's no interest here, to see if either one of them would be interested too.
Okay, but I'm willing to go.
Okay,
That's fine.
thank you.
All right, public communications for items not found on the agenda. It is the practice of the Board of Education to permit persons in the audience to make statements concerning items not listed on the agenda at this time. Mr. Stoddard, do we have any persons wishing to speak? Chelsea?
Okay. I was planning to speak on the dangerous busing situation, but the district's reaction to the shout out from Lucid TikTok changed my mind. But as a quick aside, I do drive through a couple of neighboring districts every day at school pickup and drop off times. And despite the bus driver shortage that GPS hides behind, those districts manage to transport kids right to their own individual homes every day. Now, I doubt anyone is truly unaware, but DPS got tagged by Lids of TikTok in a video last week. Wasn't a video that Lids of TikTok made, but one that they reshared from a teacher who had posted it to her own website. A website that masquerades as being about literacy while actually promoting sexualized material to first graders. And where, until this incident, the teacher held herself out as a first grade teacher in DeWitt. The district was very quick to point out that Ms. Hatline is a former teacher, and that this was a personal post on her own website. And that might be a reasonable defense as to why DPS shouldn't be questioned about what she posted, except that DPS shared and recommended this very website on their own public school pages a couple of years ago while she was employed here. As far as I'm aware, it's still up, but I have a screenshot in case anyone doubts that. So I have some questions. Does the district currently disavow sexualized reading material for 6-year-olds in your classrooms? You did in 2020, but the least you can do now is act appalled. And that brings me to the school's reaction to being called groomers by strangers on social media. You took down all of your social media pages, and then you sent out vague communications blaming weasel-worded nonsense like name-calling and hate speech for the takedowns. But then the district used the word threat. I have no knowledge if there were actual threats, but that's actually the crux of the matter. How can you be unclear about something like this? If actual threats were made against the district or employees of the district, parents had a right to know and decide if they wanted to send their kids to school when that was being investigated. If threats were not made, then how dare the word threat be uttered by the district at all? And again, why was this unclear then and why is it still unclear now? I'm not asking for details, I know how investigations work, but simple confirmation or denial of whether there were threats is the bare minimum required when parents send their kids to you. Who made these decisions? Who wrote these statements? We all know the super doesn't hesitate to just take power in her own hands and issue decrees when she wants to. But who's been in charge here when a real leader was needed? Was it Shauna? And why don't we know? Why didn't parents know what they were sending their kids into? I haven't attended a leadership seminar, but I know a leader isn't someone who just posts platitudes and then disappears behind the scenes when real problems arise. We need to do better. We need to communicate. We need to have transparency and accountability. And right now, there isn't any.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, close public communications and move to the superintendent's report.
All right, before we do,
Before we move to the superintendent's report, I just have an announcement that in the near future, This will be my last board meeting. I will be resigning. Mike and I are moving out of town, so I'm no longer able to serve on the board. And I'm a super emotional person, you guys, so I'm sorry for that. But I want to thank all of my fellow board members. This has been a really high-functioning board to be a part of. I want to thank the staff here in DeWitt, and I want to thank Shauna. And you certainly have worked to make the district more transparent and to communicate out to families everything that you can, and to communicate with us so that we know what's going on as well. So I appreciate all the efforts that you have made. And I want to call out Lucas. I won't be here when you graduate, but you've been such a great student board member. And for those of you that don't know, he even came in the summer. So I have no doubt that you're going to do very well in life, and it's been a pleasure serving with you as well. And my formal resignation will be coming after we close on our house, and it's just been an extreme pleasure to serve. So thank you.
So be prepared for more tears, because John wanted to be here tonight, and he sent me something that he wanted me to read. So he apologizes for not being here tonight, as they've had a death in the family today. I did want to share a few words, however, about Lisa Truscott for her service to the district. I met Lisa about 10 years ago through work. We quickly became friends. It was easy to see that Lisa was a selfless leader who was principled and empathetic. Having her as a colleague on the board for the past 5 years has truly been an honor. Lisa has always represented herself in our district with class and authenticity, and every decision she has made on the board at the board table, she did with the best interest of our students in mind. She epitomizes what the board member should be: dedicated, thorough, and kind. I have enjoyed serving with her, and the district is better for her service. Lisa, thank you for all you've done. I'm excited for what's next in your family, for you and your family. Best of luck to all of you.
Thank you.
And so on behalf of me and the board, we do have a money tree, because it's supposed to bring fortune to you in your new house. So that's over there for you, and a card.
Thank you so much. I
You're very,
appreciate
very
it.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Really appreciate your service. The community thanks you. Thank you.
So a few updates for you. We did have some threats that were determined non-credible, but we have involved the city police, and there is an officer that has been assigned to the investigation. And but because it was non-credible and believed from out of state, we did not close school, nor did the officer feel we needed to do any lockdown with that situation. Homecoming, just want to say thank you for those of you who were able to participate in the parade. And also this October, we have Opportunity Thrive coming on the 18th for CLT to do a screening and mental health wellness coaching for our staff. So excited about that. And also really want to say thank you to the support of the bus drivers. We are down 8 drivers from where we were last spring. And George had told me, I think twice, right, Rob, that we were probably going to have to go to a 2-tier because of the shortage on drivers, and I don't know what they've been doing. I mean, he's been driving, and they've been using buses to pick up kids that aren't on their routes at stops, and if it weren't for the stops, we wouldn't be able to do that. And so we just really owe the drivers a lot of appreciation for what they're doing. I know we're supposed to have another one back, was it this week or next week? Next week, so we're hoping if we can get through this week, but they call each individual family whenever there's a change, and either a driver or a bus or a time. So
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
And I also want to thank you, because you guys were passing out slips at the parade. Just as far as strategic plan under communication and engagement, so we had the scoop from the soup that came out for October and November. Will probably be about our new platform for being able to see what's going on, so stay tuned for our start page. Updates and newsletters, and our first POP was just sent out to families as well, so that's our Points of Pride newsletter. For academic programs, we have our career fair, which will be for 8th and 10th graders on November 2nd. That's through CC RISA, and they are always appreciative of us hosting that event. There are several people who I think sign up for booths and to just kind of showcase their careers, and that's been a huge success for the last several years. Our innovative programming has at least 5 students, and I think 3 were recruited from not participating really in anything to being able to get their high school diploma now, so that's very exciting. For safety and operations, our safety task met last week, and we did our pre-bid for security measures with communications by design. So that's for our cameras, our fob system, and our visitor management systems. And then we're continuing our You Matter theme for the year, and for as far as personnel, we are seeking paras as well as bus drivers, but we did hire a new tech person that will be starting next week, so we'll get a new person in that department. We've been short there for, I think since June, and so thanks to Adam over here and Daryl, as far as trying to pick up the slack with being down a man, so that's all I have for you.
Any questions? I just had one on the busing, and this is feedback that I've heard from talking to people in the community, is as much of a heads up as possible on any sort of cancellations of bus routes. And I realize it's almost a week-to-week challenge, but if there are going to be kind of rolling, you know, at least helping families kind of anticipate. I think everybody, not everybody, a lot of families understand the shortage and the issues, but as much notice as we can give, I think.
So the goal is not to cancel.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, but if there is.
So with having the bus routes, we already have a secondary plan in place, which is kind of an early drop and redeploy to pick up. So we still have a second tier that we can run for each of the tiers. So it's kind of like a tier 1B, 1A, 1B, and tier 2A and B. So the goal is to not cancel. But we do communicate any changes.
Okay, all right. Have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, we're adjourned.